Call of Duty Black Ops 1 was a game way ahead of its time. It was released in 2010 and the game was revolutionary because the story, it's like something came out of Nolan movie, and the gameplay was so beautifully done. It was almost the perfect package of a Call of Duty game. But sadly, Black Ops 1 released in 2010. That's 14 years ago almost.
Say what?
So how will Treyarch try to recatch that feeling that we had in Black Ops 1, especially with a very rough year? You have COVID and less than usual development cycle, and you have the previous game, which is MW 2019, to worry about. So did Treyarch overcome these challenges? Let's see. Let me give you a quick briefing of Call of Duty Cold War story so you can understand what's going on. So I guess it's between Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. So Mason is not a mathematics teacher anymore. Reznov is gone.
You better stop!
The game started very similar to Black Ops 1. I'm sure only looking at that will give you a nostalgic feeling. However, you have to catch two terrorists, Arash and Qasim, since they were super wanted for the CIA. And then it turns out that they work for a greater man named Perseus. And this guy comes in and out of the events of Cold War when the war happened. So finally, he's back in the game. So CIA agent Hudson gives the green light to create a team inside a CIA safe house, and therefore will begin your journey to catch Perseus. Honestly, I didn't want to spoil anything to you since this game is perfect in terms of the story. Probably not perfect, but excellent. So as I mentioned earlier, there's a CIA safe house which you can interact with your friends and you can talk to them, and you have multiple choices to choose from. And that's again another thing that Call of Duty Cold War do. Same as Black Ops 2, you have choices, and your choices can heavily affect on the story, trust me.
One down, one to go.
I'd say it's the best story ever created in a Call of Duty game. Even better than Black Ops 1? Yes, even better than Black Ops 1. And if you're new to my channel, you should know that I don't have many nostalgic feelings towards any of the Call of Duty games, even though I have played them back in the day, but nostalgia doesn't affect me that much. So to me, Call of Duty Cold War story seems everything Call of Duty Black Ops 2 and Call of Duty Black Ops 3 should have been. And I don't mean to shit on Black Ops 2, even though I will shit on Black Ops 3, but Black Ops 2 seemed weird, even though the story was very good, but it seemed weird enough, and downgrade to some degree from Black Ops 1. And there were some super interesting characters. You have Woods, angry as always, and I'll be damned if I'm not glad to see him again.
You're welcome. Not a fucking word down. You knew the nuke was from Green Light, didn't tell us! What else are you hiding? Maybe I can knock the truth out of you.
You have Hudson, and to my opinion, this is the best Hudson we have ever gotten.
There is no truth, only who you choose to believe. Adler knows all about that. Don't you, Russ?
And your main character, which is Bell.
Is that right? That's on a need-to-know basis.
This isn't the first government.
You're probably thinking, no one is talking. And you're right. Unfortunately, Bell doesn't talk, which significantly annoyed me because I have two ears. But he's well interesting, just like Petrenko from World at War. You can create his first and last name, you can choose his background, and you can choose whether he's male or female. That's pretty sick. And you have Russell Adler, and he's my guy. Russell Adler is a mix between Captain Price and Woods and Mason. If you mix them together, you will get Russell Adler. And oh boy, does he do a perfect job at this role. And you have some other characters which I'm not gonna talk about every one of them, but they are interesting enough. Unfortunately, the story doesn't focus on Mason enough. Okay, I get it. Like, Woods is cool, but the previous Black Ops game, which is Black Ops 4, and he has been the focus, even though Black Ops 4 doesn't have a story, but he was the focus in the cutscenes and stuff, and Woods was the focus in Call of Duty Black Ops 2, but Mason never had the chance. So I had wished that in this game they will focus more on Mason, because honestly, Mason is now kind of all over the place type of character, and he's super underestimated in Black Ops. However, you have that weird, that something is going on feeling of Black Ops 1, and you have the multiple choices of Black Ops 2, and you have a kind of an idea, which I'm not gonna spoil, which Black Ops 3 should have been. And I'm happy to say that you will not be happy if you skip Cold War. So please don't skip it. If you have played the MW 2019 and you think the story is shit,
Where'd you find this?
but this one is different. And sometimes the acting of the characters seems way too real, like it's fucking came out of a movie or something.
Something big is gonna happen. Something that will affect the free world.
And here comes the people that saying video games stories aren't as good as movies.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
I was thinking to give a full mark to Cold War. Here comes the gameplay. So it's not anything that Cold War do or didn't do that becomes super annoying to me. It's the Call of Duty DNA type of shit gets on my nerve from time to time. And Black Ops Cold War isn't an exception. Most of your times you'll just shoot people. There are no progress system or something, so that takes from the experience to a degree. But however, you have a very cool missions and the stealth does work well in this game. You can this time carry buddies and you can tag them. So yeah, there are a lot of things you can do in the stealth, which was very fun.
I'm not who you think I am.
And there are a lot of other missions that I'm not gonna spoil, but it's very, very cool to see. And you have very brutal takedowns in this game, like holy shit, who designed these? You can use an enemy as a human shield and then hook the grenade that he has, which was super satisfying. And Treyarch does it one again. Cold War has super iconic missions and the gameplay is satisfying to some degree. Unfortunately, I have played the multiplayer before the story. I know, you can boo me, but so that did take from the enjoyment of the combat in this game for me. But I enjoyed it enough to say that I liked it, but I wish that Call of Duty games from now on do much more interesting things in the gameplay aspect, because kinda get repetitive from time to time. Even though I was enjoying the game as a whole, but the gameplay certainly needs more complicated things. Like Black Ops 2 did try to do some complicated things, and so did Black Ops 3, but they didn't succeed that much, at least not Black Ops 3. So I wish that Black Ops Cold War give you more scaling of the whole gameplay thing, but you can, like, there are some attempts here and there, like having mini games, and as I said, there's a lot of iconic missions here, and I had wished that the game gives you more of a challenge. Unfortunately it doesn't. Like, you can choose your mission, even though most of the time you have to choose only between 2 missions, and you have only 2 side missions, so I'm not gonna talk about that, and you have multiple ending. So yeah, the gameplay in Black Ops Cold War is enjoyable. However, after like 20 Call of Duty games, you have to change something, and you have to give me a progress system or anything, because I never had the feeling that, oh, I need to play Cold War again. No, I was just playing it for the story and for this video. But again, it was an enjoyable experiment. From time to time, it's nice to have that, like a cool off game, which turns out to be Cold War. So how's Call of Duty Cold War technical side of the game? It's fun. Again, here my RTX started to reach its limits, so I couldn't put this game on the maximum settings, so I had to reduce some things here and there. That never had concerned me, because the game still looked beautifully enough, and some missions are just way too beautiful, and there are much things that happen in one scene, just like when you put me in a room with someone who likes Call of Duty World War II campaign. But it's a PS5 game, so that's that. I hadn't run into any glitches or bugs, because yeah, Call of Duty most of the times is well-designed game, except this piece of shit. That's it about the technical side. If it hasn't been clear, Call of Duty Cold War campaign is almost perfect, and it's my #1 favorite campaign in the series.
You win.
And I have only played this game recently, so I was very surprised that the game was this mind-blowing. And my brother was telling me, like, you should play Cold War is the best, and now I can't blame him. So the campaign actually was made by Raven, and it's their first attempt at creating creating a Call of Duty campaign, and holy shit did they succeed. I wish to see Raven in a future Call of Duty game. They made Soldier of Fortune or Singularity, or I think Wolfenstein, so yeah, that's that. Well done, Raven. So yeah, that's it about Call of Duty Cold War. Call of Duty Cold War offer a great story which lets you get hooked from the start to the finish, and offers some iconic missions here and there with a lot of surprises that I'm not gonna spoil. So if you like my video, make sure to check my other videos. These videos really sometimes take a lot of time and sometimes a lot of money as well. So if you want to support me, just go and watch my other videos, and take care.